Testing. The Thursday, September 23rd, meeting of the Committee of the Whole will now come to order. We welcome County Executive David Crowley, who will introduce his 2024 recommended budget. We are staffed by Stefan Dostanich today, our county clerk. Please call the roll.
Madam Chairwoman, being a committee meeting, we have decided to have our Legislative Division Manager, Janelle Jansen, staff this Committee of the Whole. With your permission.
Thank you. Thank you. Janelle Jensen, standing in as clerk today. Thank you, Clerk Jensen. Please call the roll.
Supervisors Taylor, District 5.
Physically in attendance.
Shea.
Here.
Johnson Jr.
Here.
Stas Kunis.
Excused.
Alexander.
Present.
Taylor, District 7.
Here.
Wasserman. Here. Logsdon.
Present.
Martin.
Present.
Clancy.
Here.
Rollins.
Here.
Sumner.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear. Did she call my name? I'm here.
Cox Jones.
Here.
Vergellis.
Present.
Martinez.
Here.
Vincent.
Excused.
Gomez Tom.
Here.
Madam Chairwoman.
Present.
There are 16 members present. We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Before we hear our 2024 recommended budget, I invite our first Vice Chair Taylor to go over our housekeeping rules.
Housekeeping rules. For those attending virtually, please use video at all times to ensure quorum. Keep your microphones muted and only unmute when addressing the board. Please use the hand-raising function when you wish to be recognized. Keep this function active until you're called upon. Please avoid using the chat function. Make sure you're visible on screen in a bright location. If you lose connection, please close your Teams windows and restart Teams from the calendar invite. For those attending in person, please raise your hand when you would like to be recognized. Please make sure to keep your microphone turned off until you're called upon to speak. Please turn your microphone off once you are done speaking. Should you choose to have the Teams meeting open on your device, please make sure to mute your microphone and turn the speakers all the way down. And for all supervisors, please, please, please maintain a sense of decorum during floor debate on all items throughout today's meeting. Under our rules, supervisors should ask the chair for permission to exit the meeting under a point of personal privilege. Note Milwaukee County Governance Ordinance Sections 1.06. These are your housekeeping rules.
Thank you, First Vice Chair Taylor. Ms. Clerk, please read item 1. Thank you, Ms. Clerk. With housekeeping in order, County Executive David Crowley, we invite you now to present your 2024 recommended budget.
Thank you. Good morning. Before I get started, Rubio moment. Thank you, Chairwoman Marcelia Nicholson, Clerk George Christensen, Comptroller Scott Mansky, and the entire Milwaukee County Board. Today, I have the pleasure of presenting the Milwaukee County's 2024's recommended budget. But first, I want to thank all of you for taking on the task of approaching this endeavor with the thoughtfulness and fiscal responsibility that our constituents absolutely deserve. Today is a new day for Milwaukee County. That's because this is a very, very different budget than what has been presented to the county board in the past years. In fact, I will call this a historic budget and a significant moment in our community. When I took office, my number one priority was to put Milwaukee County on the path of financial sustainability. And for the first time in decades, that goal has been achieved. Milwaukee County finds itself in a vastly improved budgetary environment than in past years. Driven by the passions of Wisconsin Act 12, Milwaukee County is projecting a surplus in this budget, the first surplus projected in the budget in over 2 decades. With the surplus in mind, rather than determining what potential cuts would have been the least harmful, Milwaukee County now has the opportunity to deploy the most beneficial investments for our residents. After all, together, we are one county with one vision for a stronger and a healthier Milwaukee. The mission continues to guide our strategic focus areas and the investments that will move us forward. That is intentional inclusion, bridging the gap, and investing in equity. Most importantly, the 2024 budget was once again developed using a racial equity lens that will advance our focus areas to help make Milwaukee County the healthiest county in Wisconsin. But as we know, to carry out our shared vision and invest in our community, we need the proper resources. The historic action taken by the county boards of supervisors in passing the sales tax legislation will provide Milwaukee County with new revenue to further invest in our community, starting with this budget. Thanks to the leadership of Chairwoman Nicholson, the dedication of the board, and the bipartisan collaboration with our state partners, we accomplished this monumental moment for our region that is estimated to generate roughly $84 million in new sales tax revenue next year and beyond. By securing the new revenue-generating tool, we have avoided what seemed like an inevitable fiscal catastrophe and secured a brighter future for Milwaukee County. But this is not a cure-all for our financial challenges. We must continue to find fiscal responsible, thoughtful, and innovative solutions to maintain this trajectory and work toward our shared vision for Milwaukee County. The sales tax provides a dedicated revenue source to pay down the Milwaukee County's employment retirement system's unfunded pension liability, as well as our pension obligation bonds. This will free up property tax levy dollars to be used towards other purposes like housing, like parks, like transit. And speaking of our property tax levy, and thanks to the work that we've accomplished through Act 12, I am proud to announce that the 2024 budget includes the largest property tax reduction in Milwaukee County's history. Due in large part to the diversification of funding streams, with the increased sales tax revenue and Milwaukee County's property tax levy will be reduced by over $20 million. In 2024, the owner of a medium value home in Milwaukee County will see their property tax decrease by over $100. That means real money back into the pockets of Milwaukee County homeowners. And we all know that Milwaukee County has long been over-reliant on property tax revenue. And at a time when inflation is top of mind for many of our residents, our families, this reduction is a much-needed step in the right direction and will provide much-needed relief to folks throughout our community. At the same time, we are utilizing this new fiscal flexibility to invest in key priorities that will help advance health, safety, and prosperity for our Milwaukee residents. In 2020, Milwaukee County adopted its first comprehensive countywide strategy in more than 20 years. Guided by the strategic plan and our key priorities, the 2024 Milwaukee County budget invests in programs as well as operations that advance the quality of life for every Milwaukee County resident. Now, I've said this before, and I will say it again. Housing is a matter of public health, and housing security is a critical social determinant of health. Our shared vision for Milwaukee County includes expanding equitable access to safe, quality, and affordable housing. Housing availability, affordability, and stability are paramount not only to health outcomes and community safety, but it's also for economic production and activity. When safe and stable housing is readily affordable and attainable, not only are those facing housing insecurities is better off, but our entire community is too. And we also know for far too long, people in Milwaukee County currently lack access to quality affordable housing options. So building off previous investments, such as the $12 million in ARPA funding, the 2024 budget invests an additional $4 million to ensure that Milwaukee County residents have access to safe and affordable housing. This $4 million will be combined with other funding sources to bring up to 4 more affordable housing developments in the suburbs of Milwaukee County. In utilizing these investments, we invest in equity by dismantling the barriers to diverse and inclusive communities. Everyone, regardless of your socioeconomic status, your race, or your ethnicity, you deserve to feel welcome and create a home in all corners of our great county. With affordable housing developments happening in Oak Creek, happening in West Allis, we're experiencing the largest push for suburban affordable housing in over 20 years. But this budget doesn't just invest in affordable housing. We also invest in keeping our most vulnerable residents off of the streets. For the past 2 years, Milwaukee County has been recognized for its success in having one of the lowest unsheltered homeless populations in the country. We want to maintain that designation, so we will continue investing in our homeless outreach team and Housing First model with an additional $1.5 million. When an individual and a family has stable and reliable housing, outcomes greatly improve. But by making the investments upstream, we head off future problems downstream, increasing health, increasing safety, and the productivity of Milwaukee County. And finally, this budget also provides $200,000 for housing vouchers for residents leaving our care from the Community Reintegration Center. It is our job to ensure that people who enter our facility leave in a better position from when they entered. And helping people find stable housing ensures better outcomes and decreases recidivism rates. Now, when I continue talking about our shared vision for Milwaukee County, I'm reminded of our commitment to addressing the epidemic of mental health crisis and substance use disorders. Another key tenet in combating these disparities within Milwaukee County is our ability to provide community-based mental health and substance use services for those who are in need, especially throughout the past years of the COVID-19 pandemic. Reports of anxiety and depression have increased 25% worldwide, and concerns about mental health and substance use remain elevated even 3 years later. Unfortunately, too many people in our community face barriers to accessing mental health services and getting the help that they absolutely need. In last year's budget, Milwaukee County made a record investment in mental health services. The innovative public-private partnership of the new Mental Health Emergency Center allowed us to transform the county's behavioral health system into a community-based model of care for behavioral health. In 2024, we continue that investment by increasing pretrial mental health services by $1.6 million. And we know oftentimes people are unable to access mental health services before negative outcomes even occur. This investment provides our criminal justice system with the tools to treat underlying mental health challenges instead of only utilizing incarceration as the solution. We want to create positive change. We want to provide healthy solutions and decrease unnecessary incarceration when treatment is a better option. This budget helps do just that. And for those who are incarcerated, the Community Reintegration Center takes another step forward, reinventing itself not only as a place for punishment, but rather as a place for individuals who are in our care to grow and to become productive members of our society. Research shows individuals who maintain regular communications with their loved ones have more positive outcomes occur upon their re-entry back into society. That's why our budget includes an increased funding for communication technology that will be available to those in our care, both at the Community Reintegration Center as well as the Milwaukee County Jail. Free calls up to 390 minutes per month and 60 minutes of free video time will allow individuals to stay in touch with their families and support networks throughout their incarceration. The positive impacts of these programs is not only seen in the improved mental health of incarcerated individuals, they also help us to reduce recidivism, which in turn lessens the burden on property taxpayers, or all taxpayers. It creates safer neighborhoods, as well as advance our shared vision for Milwaukee County. That shared vision also includes residents ensures that residents can safely, easily, and reliably move throughout Milwaukee County utilizing public transportation. Reliable and safe transit options are paramount to addressing health disparities in Milwaukee. The Milwaukee County transit system was one of the program areas most at risk before the Act 12 funding solution. And I'm happy to share that we are now able to invest more resources into this important service that will help improve operations. The 2024 budget recommends a $16 million increase to Milwaukee County Transit System's budget that will help sustain current services, enhance transit security, and prevent the fiscal cliff that we will see as soon as 2025. With the launch of Connect One, the east-west bus rapid transit route running along the Wisconsin Avenue corridor, Milwaukee County took a major step towards revolutionizing our transit network, and the initial results have been outstanding. Connect One is already in the top 10 most popular routes within MCTS system, and MCTS announced last week that riders will continue to enjoy free BRT rides into early 2024. This is good news, not just for families, but for workers, for seniors, for students, and people in need of accessibility accommodations. Enhancing safety on the bus is also a top priority. We heard the concerns from our riders, and it's not enough to just get to get folks to their destination. We must ensure that all riders feel safe and comfortable, as well as our operators. And to this end, we are investing an additional $1.3 million for transit security efforts. We are also working across county departments and services to identify innovative upstream solutions to safety, such as housing, as well as mental health. We will need to pursue innovative funding solutions in future years to continue improving our transit system. And I'm committed to advocating for the importance of public transit, particularly as it relates to our state and federal partners. Our shared vision for Milwaukee County also means supporting the wellness and quality of life among the entire community. This work extends beyond housing, beyond health services and public transportation. Milwaukee County's world-class park system is an enormous asset to our region. With over 150 parks, miles of scenic trails, golf courses, beer gardens, and beaches, residents and visitors are offered space to relax and to rest. And throughout the past few decades, our park staff have been forced to find creative solutions to keep our parks beautiful with fewer and fewer resources. The 2024 budget reverses this trend by investing an additional $3 million into our parks and creating 18 new full-time positions to support operations, maintenance, and more. Additionally, to maintain our world-class park system to the standard that it deserves, 12 new projects across Milwaukee County are funded in this budget. That's over $23 million in capital investments into our park assets. Those projects include trail improvements and modernization to provide the quality that our residents in Milwaukee County expect. Funding is also included for the South Shore Breakwater Project, a critical effort aimed to providing safety to those visiting our lakefront. And finally, the success of Milwaukee County would not be possible with our dedicated employees. We can all agree that they truly are the lifeblood of the county, and they're doing phenomenal work to execute our shared vision and in helping to make Milwaukee County the healthiest county in the state of Wisconsin. It is a priority for my administration to ensure that we are able to hire talented, dedicated individuals, but also retain the impressive talent that we're so lucky to have in carrying out this important work. For this reason, this budget reflects our commitment to our employees by incorporating a 2% across-the-board raise for Milwaukee County employees. And as part of the changes that were brought about by the passage of Act 12, general county employees will also see their pension contribution rate drop from 6.1% to 4.3%. So in addition to the 2% raise, that means the average county employee, not in a public safety bargaining unit, will see their take-home pay increase by 4.7%. I am also pleased to share that we formalized, with the support of the County Board of Supervisors, significant structural changes in our compensation system. This simplification of our structure enables us to ensure compensation is not only equitable, but is market competitive. We also include an additional $3 million in this budget to continue our compensation study. And thank you to the Department of Human Resources compensation team for your persistence and your commitment to this effort. Furthering our commitment to diversity and inclusion within our staff is a major piece of our shared vision for Milwaukee County. It truly is a new day in Milwaukee County. While this budget may be historic, it does not mean that we can ignore the fiscal reality. I am not naive, and I know that we must remain cautiously optimistic. That's why we're going to continue our track record of sound fiscal responsibility and thoughtful budgeting, while keeping in mind the investments needed to provide a level of service that all of our residents in Milwaukee County absolutely deserve. We're also maintaining our commitment to budgeting for the people, with the input by the people, through the help of our in-person town halls and our online balancing act tool. And because of our increase to our revenues, we can make the investments that folks want to see, while also paying down our pension obligations, saving taxpayers money, and ensuring future generations do not have to pay for the past mistakes of our predecessors. Now, I'm proud of this budget, and I'm proud of the work that my team did to finally achieve a long-term solution to the county's fiscal constraints, a solution that many thought was impossible. And I'm proud of our residents, from whom this budget is meant to serve, for continuing to not only uplift, but supporting the work of your Milwaukee County government. Together, we are one Milwaukee County, with one ambitious shared vision for our future. And I believe in what's to come in the years ahead, and I'm proud that you all are here to help carry out this important work. And so now, I hand the 2024 recommended budget to you, our esteemed Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors. As we proceed through the next stage of this budget process, I truly look forward to the productive conversations and the continued collaboration. So please feel free to reach out to me at any time during this process with questions about this recommended budget. My office always has been and will continue to remain available to all board members. Thank you for this opportunity, and God bless you all.